Shalom and good morning. Today we're going to start off in Genesis chapter 1. In the beginning, Yahu'ah created the Shemayim and the earth came to be, formless and empty, and darkness was on the face of the deep. And the Spirit of Yahu'ah was moving on the face of the waters. And Yahu'ah said, "Let light come to be," and light came to be. And Yahu'ah saw the light, that it was good. And Yahu'ah separated the light from the darkness. And Yahu'ah called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning one day. And Yahu'ah said, "Let an expanse come to be in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters." And Yahu'ah made the expanse, and separated the waters which were under the expanse from the waters which were above the expanse, and it came to be so. And Yahu'ah called the expanse Shemayim, the heavens. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning the second day. And Yahu'ah said, "Let the waters under the Shemayim be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear." And it came to be so. And Yahu'ah called the dry land earth, and the collection of the waters he called seas. And Yahu'ah saw that it was good. And Yahu'ah said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the plant that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in itself on the earth." And it came to be so. And the earth brought forth grass, the plant that yields seed according to its kind, and the tree that yields fruit, whose seed is in itself according to its kind. And Yahu'ah saw that it was good. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning the third day. And Yahu'ah said, "Let lights come into be in the expanse of the Shemayim to separate the day from the night. And let them be for signs and appointed times, and for days and years. And let them be for the lights in the expanse of the Shemayim to give light on the earth." And it came to be so. And Yahu'ah made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night and the stars. And Yahu'ah set them in the expanse of the Shemayim to give light on the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And Yahu'ah saw that it was good. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning the fourth day. And Yahu'ah said, "Let the waters teem with shoals of living beings, and let birds fly above the earth on the face of the expanse of the Shemayim." And Yahu'ah created the great sea creatures and every living being that moved, with which the waters teemed according to their kind, and every winged bird according to its kind. And Yahu'ah saw that it was good. And Yahu'ah blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and increase, and fill the waters in the seas, and let the birds increase on the earth." And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning the fifth day. And Yahu'ah said, "Let the earth bring forth the living beings according to its kind, livestock and creeping creatures, and beasts on the earth, according to its kind." And it came to be so. And Yahu'ah made the beast of the earth according to its kind, livestock according to its kind, and all that creeps on the earth according to its kind. And Yahu'ah saw that it was good. And Yahu'ah said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the Shemayim, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over all the creeping creatures that creep on the ground." And Yahu'ah created the man in his image. In the image of Yahu'ah he created him. Male and female he created them. And Yahu'ah blessed them, and Yahu'ah said to them, Be fruitful and increase, and fill the earth and subdue it, and rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the Shemayim, and over all the creeping creatures on the earth. And Yahu'ah said, See, I have given you every plant that yields seed, which is on the face of the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seed. To you it is for food. And to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the Shemayim, and every creeping creature on the earth in which there is a living being, every green plant is for food, and it came to be so. And Yahu'ah saw all that he had made, and see, it was very good. And there it came to be evening, and there it came to be morning, the sixth day. Genesis chapter 2. Thus the Shemayim and the earth were completed in all their array. And in the seventh day Yahu'ah completed his work which he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And Yahu'ah blessed the seventh day and set it apart, because on it he rested from all his work which Yahu'ah in creating had made. These are the birds of the Shemayim and the earth when they were created, in the day that Yahu'ah made the earth and the Shemayim. Now no shrub of the field was yet on the earth, and no plant of the field yet had sprung. For Yahu'ah had not sent rain on the earth, and there was no man to till the ground. But a mist went up from the earth and watered the entire surface of the ground. And Yahu'ah formed the man out of dust from the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And the man became a living being. And Yahu'ah planted a garden in Eden, to the east, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground Yahu'ah made every tree grow that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, with the tree of life in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from there it divided and became 4 heads. The name of the first is Pison. It is the one surrounding the entire land of Yahu'ah, where there is gold. And the gold of that land is good. Bdellium is there, and the Shahom stone. And the name of the second river is Gihon. It is the one surrounding the entire land of Cush. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel. It is the one which goes toward the east of Ashur. And the fourth river is the Euphrates. And Yahu'ah took the man and put him in the garden of Eden to work it and to guard it. And Yahu'ah commanded the man, saying, Eat of every tree of the garden, but do not eat the tree of knowledge of good and evil, for in that day that you eat of it you shall certainly die. And Yahu'ah said, It is not good for the man to be alone. I am going to make a helper for him, as his counterpart. And from the ground Yahu'ah formed every beast of the field and every bird of the Shemayim, and brought them to the man to see what he would call them. And whatever the man called each living being, that was its name. So the man gave names to all the livestock, and to the birds of the Shemayim, and to every beast of the field. But for the man there was not found a helper for him as his counterpart. So Yahu'ah caused a deep sleep to fall on the man, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs, and closed up the flesh in its place. And the rib which Yahu'ah had taken from the man he made into a woman, And he brought her to the man. And the man said, "This is now bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh. This one is called woman, because she was taken out of man. For this cause a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, yet they were not ashamed." Genesis chapter 3. And the Nahash was more crafty than all the lives of the field which Yahu'ah had made. And he said to the woman, "Is it not true that Yahu'ah has said, 'Do not eat of every tree of the garden'?" And the woman said to Nahash, "We are to eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yahu'ah has said, 'Do not eat of it, nor touch it, lest you die.'" And the Nahash said to the woman, "You shall certainly not die. For Yahu'ah knows that in the day that you eat it, your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be like Yahu'ah, knowing good and evil." And the woman saw that the tree was good for food, that it was pleasant to her eyes, and a tree desirable to make one wise. And she took of its fruit and ate. And she also gave to her husband with her, and he ate. Then both the eyes of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and that they sewed fig leaves together and made a loin coverings for themselves. And they heard the voice of Yahu'ah walking in the garden in the cool of day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Yahu'ah among the trees of the garden. And Yahu'ah called unto Adam and said, "Where are you?" And he said, "I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid myself." And he said, "Who made you know that you were naked? Have you eaten of the tree which I commanded that you should not eat?" And the man said, "The woman whom you gave to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I ate." And Yahu'ah said to the woman, "What is this you have done?" And the woman said, "The Nahash deceived me, and I ate." And Yahu'ah said to Nahash, "Because you have done this, you are cursed more than all livestock, and more than every beast of the field. On your belly you are to go, and eat dust all the days of your life. And I put my enmity between you and the woman, between your seed and her seed. He shall crush your head, and you shall crush his heel." To the woman he said, "I greatly increase your sorrow and your conception. Bring forth children in pain, and your desire is for your husband, and he does rule over you." And to the man he said, "Because you have listened to the voice of your wife, and you have eaten of the tree which I commanded you, saying, 'Do not eat of it,' cursed is the ground because of you. In toil you are to eat of it all the days of your life. And the ground shall bring forth thorns and thistles for you, and you shall eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your face you are to eat bread until you return to the ground, for out of it you were taken, and for dust you are, and to dust you return." And the man called his wife's name Yahu'ah, because she became the mother of all living. And Yahu'ah made coats of skin for the man and his wife, and dressed them. And Yahu'ah said, "See, the man has become like one of us, to know good and evil. And now lest he put on his hand, and take also of the tree of life, and eat and live forever." So Yahuwah sent them out of the Garden of Eden to till the ground from which he was taken. And he drove the man out, and he placed a cherubim at the east of the garden, with a flaming sword which turned every way, to guard the way to the tree of life. Genesis chapter 4. And Adam knew Yahu'ah his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, and said, I have gained a man, Yahu'ah. And again she gave birth to his brother, Habel. And Habel became a keeper of sheep, but Cain became a tiller of the ground. And it came to be in the course of time that Cain brought an offering of fruit of the ground to Yahu'ah. And Habel also brought of the firstborn of his flock of their fat. And Yahu'ah looked at Habel and his offering, but he did not look to Cain in his offering. And Cain was very wroth, and his face fell. And Yahu'ah said to Cain, Why is he wroth toward you? And why is your face fallen? Is it not, if you do good, you are to be accepted? And if you do not do good, towards the door is sin. He is lying. And towards you is his desire, and you must rule over him. And Cain told Habel his brother, and it came to be when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Habel his brother and killed him. And Yahu'ah said to Cain, Where is Habel your brother? And he said, I do not know. Am I my brother's guard? And he said, What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. And now you are cursed from the earth, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. If you till the ground, it shall no longer yield its strength to you. You shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth. And Cain said to Yahu'ah, My punishment is too great to bear. See, if you have driven me from the face of the ground today, and I am hidden from your face, I shall be a fugitive and a wanderer of the earth, and it shall be that anyone who finds me kills me. And Yahu'ah said to him, Well, if anyone kills Cain, vengeance is taken on him sevenfold. And Yahu'ah set up a sign for Cain, lest anyone finds him and strikes him. So Cain went out from the presence of Yahu'ah and dwelt in the land of Nod, on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bore Hanok. And he built a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Hanok. And Hanok was born Arad, and Arad brought forth Heuel, and Heuel brought forth Methuselah, and Methuselah brought forth Lamech. And Lamech took for himself 2 wives. The name of one was Adah, and the name of the second was Seleah. And Adah bore Yabal, and he was the father of those who dwell in tents with livestock. And his brother's name was Yubal, and he was the father of all those who play the lyre and flute. As for Sedal, she bore Tubal Cain, a smith of all kinds of tools in bronze and iron. And the sister of Tubal Cain was Naamah. And Lamech said to his wives, Adah and Sael, hear my voice. Wives of Lamech, listen to my words, for I have killed a man for wounding me, even a young man for hurting me. For Cain is avenged sevenfold, and Lamech 70-fold. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bore a son, and called his name Sheth. For Yahu'ah had appointed me another seed instead of Habel, because Cain had killed him. And to Sheth, to him also a son was born, and he called his name Enosh. Then it was begun to call on the name of Yahu'ah. Genesis chapter 5. This is the book of the genealogy of Adam in the day that Yahu'ah created man. He made him in the likeness of Yahu'ah. Male and female he created them, and he blessed them and called their name Adam in the day they were created. And Adam lived 130 years, and brought forth a son in his own likeness, after his image, and called his name Shath. And after he brought forth Shath, the days of Adam were 800 years. And he brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. And Shath lived 105 years, and brought forth Enosh. And after he brought forth Enosh, Shath lived 807 years, and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Shath were 912 years, and he died. And Enosh lived 90 years, and brought forth Canaan. And after he brought forth Canaan, Enosh lived 815 years, and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Enosh were 905 years, and he died. And Canaan lived 70 years, and brought forth Mahalalel. And after he brought forth Mahalalel, Canaan lived 840 years, and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died. And Mahalalel lived 60 years, and brought forth Yared. And after he brought forth Yared, Mahalalel lived 830 years, and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. And Yared lived 162 years, and brought forth Hanak. And after he brought forth Hanak, Yared lived 800 years, and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Yared were 962 years, and he died. And Hanak lived 65 years, and brought forth Methuselah. And after he brought forth Methuselah, Hanak walked with Yahu'ah 300 years, and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Hanak were 365 years. And Hanak walked with Yahu'ah. Then he was no more, for Yahu'ah took him. And Methuselah lived 187 years, and brought forth Lamech. And after he brought forth Lamech, Methuselah lived 782 years, and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. And Lamech lived 182 years, and brought forth a son. And he called his name Noah, saying, This one does comfort us concerning our work and the toil of our hands, because of the ground which Yahu'ah has cursed. And after he brought forth Noah, Lamech lived 595 years, and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. And Noah was 500 years old, and Noah brought forth Shem, Ham, and Japheth.